like your credits went through just fine. Fantastic. Now, where was I? Right. You were asking about the Mercs, Nox Solaris. Well, friend, you have come to the right man. Been their humble street pharmacist since just after they got together. Some of my best clients, by the way. But more importantly for you, they're the best there is at what they do. I mean, what a group! Leaders a bona fide Atlantean Voyager. That's right, Atlantean. Then there's the spooky techno wizard cyborg genius. Finally, a mystic smithy giant. 12 feet tall if he's an inch. Not to mention the mountain of a spirit bear he calls brother. Now, I can get word to him if you're looking to hire Mister. No problem there. Just let old Blitz give you 2 tiny tips for your health. First, don't get on their bad side. Make sure you have payment ready to go, and don't try to pull any bullshit, or you're worse than dead. And second, don't piss off that fucking bear.
Finally, there you are. The Nexus had just enough power to fuel one more try. The last step. The Megaverse knows my Atlantean people as heroes, but a shadow of chaos has taken root in me. They try to bind it. They try to bury it. But when I finally called out to it, to you, from across the void, you answered, I am ready.
Welcome, traveler, to the Black Shore.
Your shame reaches a mother's heart, even beyond the veil, little brother. My sister saw and mocked her as the darkness closed in. She giggled and synthesized honey-sweet tones while leaning close to softly breathe her venom into my ear. And so, with judgment passed and tourniquets in place, my family commanded the automated surgical bots to neatly slice both arms and legs from my torso. The harsh lights overhead swam and dimmed before my eyes, as flesh and bone were replaced with cold, unfeeling metal to cripple my connection to the arcane. Now, my family lies far behind my path, and I follow a new teacher as she whispers from the darkness ahead. Her voice haunts me with promises of forbidden knowledge and wonders precious beyond compare. Each step brings me closer to my prize, closer to my revenge, closer to her.
Nah, brother. My eyes read the stars as keenly as your ancient ones do. It is almost here. E is almost home. And with him comes the end for our proud and noble Vana countryman, along with the rest of the souls on this world. As his foul shadow falls upon us all, we alone stand for those who cannot. Ugh. So rise, son of Aku. Our ancestors smile upon us this night as they call us home. Come and let us earn our place amongst the stars above.
All right, welcome. We are back with our next episode, our next session of our Prism of Ketterfall campaign. We're jumping right into the action here in The Wandering Aristocrat with our player group. We have got Akama, Ymir, and Ren. And and as we get going here, we're picking up in what would traditionally be the morning. It is currently nighttime in the section of the Wandering Aristocrat that they're in, but in Rift's Earth, it's the morning. They've made it through a pretty difficult day and night, and found some sanctuary in the Bennington. They are currently walking away from speaking with an inspector that works for the Wandering Aristocrat as a security force agent. They were questioned by him and quickly turned away and told that they should probably be leaving the Aristocrats soon. The questioning didn't really make sense, and it seemed to end very abruptly. With that, we'll just go ahead and pick up with the players. As you guys are standing around what was essentially an alleyway behind the inspector's residence and office, you are accompanied by Geiger, who, after recently regaining her biomechanical form, seems to be singularly aimed at her stated quest, which is to infiltrate the hazardous region known as the Bitter Creep and eliminate the cause of that atmospheric anomaly that is encroaching on the surrounding area. She has been tagged to your group as a liaison with the group Metadyne, the faction, and is still a very mysterious character and has proven herself to be relatively unstable. So, with that being said, your group is once again intact. You guys are all standing together in the alleyway, and you know what you need to get done today, so let's go ahead and start with you, Akama. What would you like to be doing?
Are we still at the Bennington?
No, you guys had actually left and headed over to
Where that
The-
mysterious performer was?
the Witch Hound, the security force agent.
Oh, we just left him, didn't we?
Uh-huh.
Or we still near him?
You guys had gone to the front of the office and then you headed around to the back, and he had opened up the rear and spoken to you just really briefly, and then kind of cut everything off and slammed the garage door kind of thing closed and
Gotcha,
just
I
said
remember that.
bounce. So
Okay. I look toward my allies and I give them a brief question of, all right, guys. So, is there anything else that we need to be taken care of when we're here?
Ymir instantly cuts in and goes, da. My apologies. My apologies, Brother Akama, Brother Ren. But I have other business I must attend to today. I am still in the employ of Lars and his boss back in the burg, so I would appreciate if you would accompany me there. He has men, and last time I was outnumbered. I would appreciate if you would follow me in this errand. Ren, you may get a chance to see how my people smith today.
I nod my head. Okay.
As long as she doesn't get too pushy, it should be fine.
okay,
We will
go ahead.
we will away as soon as the job is done. But it will give me a chance to create the dagger for Brother Akama that we have talked about since we have left the reactor. I will use all my skills to present you with such a quality weapon. But for this, we need his forge. But I do not trust him. He is a fallen one of my kind. I would appreciate you watching my back. And he kind of humbly nods his head because he's not used to, he understands the gravity of the situation and he is not used to this, but he knows that he needs his allies' help.
Okay.
I get a big smirk, and then just crouch down a little bit and go, yeah, let's go.
All right, as this takes place, Geiger chirps in and says,
Query. Time frame necessary for this activity to transpire.
I turn to Geiger and I say, one last side quest before we off to the main mission.
okay, she looks over to you, Ymir, and says,
Inquiry repeated. Estimated time length associated with required task.
now I wanna remind you that you were doing this job to be able to smith for yourself as well,
Right. I was getting paid in enough money.
right? So
Go ahead.
it's if you're gonna respond, make sure that you're like, you may want to keep in mind how long everything could take, you know what I mean?
Right. I believe, if I remember correctly, this
Half a
is
day.
just half a day. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I know it was
For-
less than a.
For the smithing project, but then you were gonna get access to
The forge.
the forge for, I want to say you were gonna get 1 day.
I
You were
don't think that was. Okay, that's
I-
fine.
I want to go over. Let me see. I want to go over exactly what the original deal was, but I believe you were going to get a day and you were going to get materials.
Yes, I asked
Taken
to be
care
paid in
of.
material. Yeah, I asked to be paid in materials.
So yeah. So anyway, just throwing that out there.
Okay, Ymir kind of scowls at Geiger, kind of insulted at how snappy she's being. You know, that robotic tone is grating on his ears. So he just looks at her and goes, I can probably get it done in 10 hours or so. But one does not rush an artist. One does not rush a smith of my caliber. Understand that. We will away afterwards. But for now, I have given my word. And that means more than moving forward in the mission.
So you're giving her just the time frame of you're actually helping them to smith. Right? Not what it would take for you to be able to stick around and do this your smithing yourself.
I didn't know. Okay, out of character, Odin, I don't understand quite. The inquiry was he's obviously rushing me, and I need if I need a certain time frame, I don't know how to respond to that. That's what I'm saying.
No worries at all. So when you had first made the agreement, like we said, it was for you basically helping for the morning for about half a day to help them with their smithing project. And once you completed that, you were going to get, I don't remember if it was a half a day or a full day, but I know it was at least a half of a day to work on your project for yourself. And you were going to get paid in a bunch of materials and, you know, some of the more rare shit that it costs to do this kind of stuff. So that you could basically...
You need a full day.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up. I know that's kind of confusing, and I wanted to make sure however you want to respond to her, you can tell her anything you want, but now you have a kind of scale to work with.
Okay, yeah, okay.
If you stayed a whole day, you're gonna be able to do the whole thing, and get your cookies too. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Give me a week. Need a week.
Uses mega damage strength to pick her up and throw her a million miles.
And the reason I wanted to be specific about that is obviously she's making a calculation, so what you say to her is going to be important. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just fling her and tell her when you come back is when we leave.
Okay, then Ymir looks at her and goes, it will take 1 day to complete everything I need. This is not just for them. I have promised one of my brothers a gift, and you do not rush a gift in my culture, machine.
Okay, as soon as you say this, you hear a strange kind of noise emanating from her. As you hear this like weird electronic noise coming out of her, you see her head kind of twitch just slightly in response to whatever's going on. And as soon as this happens, she turns towards you, Ren, and she says,
Mission priority confirmed. I will rendezvous with you at the... She says, at the fridge.
The fridge?
The fridge in 36 hours. That should allow travel and acclimation time once you reach that site. Do you have any questions before I depart?
Just one. Where's the fridge? Or what is the fridge?
It is the next leg of our journey and the entryway to the Bitter Creeps interior. A necessary destination in pursuit of our mission.
Okay.
She makes it essentially sound like it's just some kind of settlement town stronghold. It's just a, you know. And okay.
Might there be snacks there?
Is there anything you want to say to her, or
I mean,
she's
I can-
acting very robotic, very cold, and just very casual. No real emotion, no nothing.
yeah. I'll leave her be then because yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you
Yeah.
just kind of nod to her, she just very casually turns and strides off at a pretty rapid pace towards what you guys can see some signage in the distance represents one of the passageways between levels, which obviously is also a way out. All right. So Geiger just kind of heads off on her own, and go. Now you guys are free to basically do whatever you'd like. Who's saying or doing what? Wotek, by the way, lets out just kind of a low rumble and just kind of leans up close to you, Ymir, and it gives you just a little, it's just a little sign that it's nothing major, but it's just a little sign that maybe he's a little under the weather. Something's just a bit off. So
He's just excited that Geiger fucking left.
and Wotek, again, for our audience, is a giant, I believe 20-foot long, correct?
Yes, on his hind. Yeah, he's 10 foot tall, claw to shoulder on all fours, so he's 20 feet tall when he rears up.
Okay. He's essentially a kind of quasi supernatural bear.
Yes, he's an avatar of his father. Aku, the great bear god.
And
He's a supernatural beast.
and he's tied
Make it
very
damage.
closely to Ymir's character. They have a really close bond. So, all right. So,
Bordering on human.
so is there anything you want to do in response to that, or is there anything else anybody's wanting to say or do?
Before Geiger completely aways herself, Ymir looks at Ren and goes, "Have her mark it on our map. We are still unfamiliar with these lands. She's acting like we know where we need to go."
Okay.
I'll
She
go over
hears this over her shoulder, and she just kind of turns. You see her hold her wrist up, and a strange kind of display kind of morphs out of her biomechanical flesh. She seems to make a couple of button presses, and on your area map,
Nice.
you guys see, zoom in here. our GM. Actually, we should go like this.
Can we tell where we are on the wandering aristocrat walk path?
That's the beautiful part, is you can't. You can't. You guys are in almost in another dimension within this thing. And so as you're looking out, every time you're looking at the sky from any of the blades that you've already been in, the sections, you can tell that you're not inside a building. You're somewhere else, which is why in the one place it's like always night, whatever that place is.
That's where we are right now, yeah?
Yes,
the inner court?
correct. That one is called... actually, give me just 1 second. Map layer. There we go. Okay, now you guys should be able to see the fridge along the light blue path of the Wandering Aristocrat.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And... Okay. So let's head back over. And whenever you guys need to, just let me know and we can always reference this, because now, thanks to Dex, we got the scale appropriate. So when you use your ruler from over on the left, as you apply it between places, remember to hold Alt when you start the measurement, or else it'll try and put you like in the middle of a grid square. But hold down Alt and you should get actual realistic mileage measurements for everything. And everything now is actually, yeah, we rescaled the distance after Dex brought up how shit didn't make sense before. So it's looking pretty good now. All right, so when you guys are ready, let me know. I'll go ahead and switch us back over to the Aristocrat.
Nice, that's pretty far. I'm good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm good as well.
Yeah, at some point I'm going to figure out how to make that map available to you guys on demand.
You have it available to us unless you took it out?
So I can do a still image, but it's not
the interactive one.
No, and that doesn't really help. So it's more an issue of needing to let you guys switch pages, and I don't know how to do that yet. So let's see if there even is a way. I'm not sure. Okay, so we are back, and as you guys are standing around, I'll put it right back up to you. What would you like to be doing? Now, as you look around, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this is a kind of neon, not quite carnival, but adult entertainment kind of centered and themed area of the Wandering Aristocrat. So lots of people coming and going, nightlife, some, obvious shady underworld stuff going on. We're looking at an overcast sky that's on pretty much a moonless night, but there are stars in the sky. And other than it seeming a little bit eclectic, there's nothing about this area that really is just, outstanding or that out of the ordinary. Lots of neon signage and like I said, nightlife and entertainment, but not a lot of shops or anything like that. And for the most part, it doesn't look like people really live in this area. You just come through, stay, do what you're going to do for fun and go. So, all right. So, I'll leave it to you guys. What are we doing?
I look at Ymir and I ask him, so brother, do you happen to have Lars's communication number? Maybe give him a shout, cause wasn't he here when he brought us here, wasn't he?
He was very, very drunk, brother. But I do believe that he left the contact information with us.
Well, just give him a shout and see where he is, and hopefully he's still here. Cause if not, I don't really know how to get out of this forever night area.
As you guys look around, you do see some different indicators of what would be basically the entryways between levels, the kind of passages that actually lead there. And the one that you came through to get to these two so far, it's basically like a large, almost like a large subway tunnel kind of entryway that you pass through and just kind of seamlessly wind up in the other area. But from looking around, you can tell there are different ones scattered around the terrain, in several different directions. And the closest one, you're probably only like 10 minutes, 15 minutes walk from being able to reach one. So... Ymir, did you want to go ahead and call him, or did you?
Ymir looks at Akama's request and goes, hopefully he is not still asleep in wherever you last found him, but I will call. And so Ymir pulls out the big mega damage radio telecommunicator, big brick talkie that I have, and
takes
Wake
those
up from the table.
takes those
Oh,
bread
shit.
loaf fingers and is trying not
Yes.
to bust the
Grabs that
bust
sack
the
Morris
numbers
cell phone.
too. Yeah.
indeed, looking like the sat phone from Scarface.
So you're squinting in, trying to read the number off of the telex deal. You go ahead and are
I have
able to.
night vision, so it shouldn't be that hard.
No, it's just relative to your size. It's like us trying to read something microscopic. So you're trying to, get it all set, and it's a little comical, you trying to use such a delicate piece of machinery, but it helps that this is like a military version, so it's not, gonna shatter
the
like we've
Incredible
had
Hulk trying to use
happen.
a typewriter.
Exactly. So you're able to successfully get it to work, and as the call goes through, you hear Lars's voice right away after a couple of rings come through pretty clearly. You're not sure that this is like the best kind of signal available, but it sounds like you have a really good connection. And he says, what is it?
Brother, it is Ymir.
Okay,
It
at
is
this, he right away seems to, you hear a bunch of shuffling and movement. He says, oh, yes, my apologies. I fell ill last night. Don't remember exactly what happened. I assure you, though, I am awake. I am ready, brother. Are you on your way to the shop? Yes?
It is time, no?
Yes, no,
We-
yes, it is
Yes,
time. Yes.
My brothers and I are in the, what's the district called again?
This one is, you guys are currently in the row. That's basically
Row.
the central kind of district.
My brothers and I, we are still in the row. We need a guide to get back to the burg and the shop. Can you meet us? We are near the Bennington. Do you know the place?
Yes, of course. I will meet you at the closest portal gate. Make your way there. You're very close. You should see the signage high above in the sky in neon. As soon as you arrive, I will be at the gate on this side, and I will escort you through the area. Give me perhaps just an extra 5 minutes. I must bathe myself. I am finding as we are speaking there are
Stank.
several fluids upon my body. I cannot identify them, but they are not pleasant. So get 5 minutes, I beg you, and I will be on my way. Will be a good
Dude, like 10 minutes.
will be a good
We'll give you
exercise
10.
for your skills, and I am excited to join you in this endeavor today, brother. He kind of
Ymir can't help but hide his grin. His grin shows at Lars's words, understanding that that's a very common thing from men in their homeland. It happens in long Russian winters. It makes them.
Yeah, Russians don't fuck around when they drink. Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to get across.
Oh yeah.
So he kind of cracks a smile at Lars's reply and goes, da. We will be at the gate, and when you escort us, I will be ready. I have all that I need. My 2 compatriots will be coming with me, and that is not negotiable. Yes?
Of course. Why would this bother me? I appreciate having extra security. To be honest with you, this shall be a complex, arcane endeavor, and as we both know, there are never any guarantees. Between you and me, brother, Drago, there is something about him. He is a honorable man, a good employer, and a champion of the impoverished in this section of the aristocrats. And yet, brother, it's simply the vodka talking. I will be on my way shortly. This will be a good experience, and we'll have a fantastic yield if we are successful for all of us. So, and
Maybe
Go ahead.
afterwards we will speak about it. You and I shall talk in private, because I think I understand what you mean. But we will talk about it. Let us focus at the task at hand. Yes, see you in a few.
And he gives a chuckle and he says, "You will buy the vodka when we talk." Yes.
Of course.
Then yes, my brother. Yes, my brother. We shall have a mighty palaver. And with this, he hangs up. All right. Clock's ticking, gents.
Ymir.
What are we doing?
Ymir clicks off the radio and puts it back in his pack as gingerly as he possibly can.
Nice. Okay. All right. Everything goes. No rolls necessary this time.
Good.
So. All right. What do we got going on?
Should start making our way to that point.
Yeah, I'm just following at the moment.
Okay. You guys all start making your way to the closest gate portal. You pass by, lots of different goings on, just little shows and just street artists and vendors and all kinds of fun little shit, but none of it holds your attention. You guys realize that things are starting to pick up speed for you, and some of these opportunities are starting to get a little closer, and that's definitely an exciting thing. So as you near the portal gate, once again, you see that there's kind of a kiosk in front with one of those same kind of automated receptionists that you had seen before. This one doesn't have the kind of garden atmosphere because it's themed to the area that you're in. here in the row, but it's the same general feel. And as you approach, you now take a closer look, and you see that there's signs all over the place that are actually promoting some of the different services and amenities that the different sections of the Aristocrat offer. And as you're looking around, you see that you first came in to the area that was kind of like the courtyard and gardens, and that led directly to what essentially was your first location within the Aristocrat, which was the Burg, which was the kind of, that's where you guys are heading back to now, the kind of more provincial area. You see the row has lots of advertisements as well for its nightlife, but you also are noticing now that there's all these different ads and all of this different information on the third main thread of the Aristocrat, which is called the Lanes. And as you guys are just looking at this, as you have just a moment, you realize that this section is where most of the technology, most of the more modern kind of shopping experience can be had, as well as most of the more modern kind of services. So one of the things that catches your eye is that you guys see that this is where the Telex hub is actually located. That's actually pretty prominently featured in the advertisements for, areas to visit, as it explains that from this facility you'll be able to do basically long range communications with anybody that you have the identifying signal ID for. And that is a feature that on Rift's Earth is incredibly rare. There's no satellite communication, so getting messages to people miles and miles and miles away is almost impossible, except through means like this and other mystical means. So all right, with that being said, just wanted to make sure to bring that up. You guys are right there at the portal door. Would you like to head on through and start heading to the Burg to rendezvous with Lars, or is there anything else you're wanting to look at or do?
DM, quick. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go. No. Go ahead, Akama. You got it. You had a question for the DM. Go ahead.
Yeah, GM. So, regarding this Telex location, is this the only one in this Aristocrat?
That's what you're picking up. It looks like there's just one, and it's located here, and it's one of the big pulls for this area.
Okay. I'll hold my movement, and we'll see what the other two will do.
Okay.
Ymir, seeing the side of this Telex station, looks at Akama and goes, "Brother, now shall be a good time to get in contact with Harmony, no? And maybe call Blitz, see if we cannot help my brother Wotek with his, and he kind of trails off, struggling for the word in English.
I snap my fingers. One finger, not one finger. I snap my finger and kind of have like a gun pointing and say, "That's what I was about to do."
Okay. So, what would you guys like to do?
Ren, you doing anything?
Feel like just moving as quickly as possible is probably the best way to go. We don't have very much time if we need to meet up back up with Geiger. The only problem I'm seeing is I have missed a contact that I needed to make, and I'm not sure what I need to do with that exactly. But other than that, it's kind of just haste at the moment.
We were in the Burg when you made the contact, no? Ymir looks at Ren.
What was the word you said there? I was what? I'm sorry.
In the Burg?
We were in the Burg.
Yes. Right? It was?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I was. We were.
Lars is
You were
employer
actually
shop.
right next to the.
Yep.
You were actually right next
Mhm.
to the blacksmith shop where you guys are going.
Mm-hmm. That's Ymir was about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That
I'm
is
sorry.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Ymir,
your character would know that, Ren. You.
You know, I just couldn't remember.
No, I just wanted to let you know, like your guy he recalls. This is all. It is all really centrally located. So.
and maybe you can meet back with your contact when we get to the Berg. Since it's so close. You can watch
Not-
me Smith and then talk to them or vice versa. But I want
If I have the time, yeah.
Okay. I want your presence around Lars's employer, though. Like I said, I do not trust him, and your abilities might be useful. And he just kind of solemnly nods his head, like, be ready for anything.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna
Okay.
start making my way toward the Telex location.
Okay. You start heading to the portal and you designate that you want to head to the lanes. And
No, I thought he said telex, like he was trying to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I
you're
didn't
wanting
know
to
that.
go to the lanes to the technological district to make the call to Harmony,
Oh, okay.
right? Am I understanding that right?
I thought it was still. I was confused. I thought
Oh, no
the
worries.
telex station was on this side of the portal. We hadn't stepped through yet.
So you're talking about the inner court where we are, and then there's the middle one where it's supposed to be all the technological and.
That's exactly right. I don't know how the fuck you. Yeah, this is confusing to me, but yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so where we're going, well, not necessarily where we're going, because Lars is in the outer court. No?
yes,
Like where
in
we
the
first
Berg.
started?
Correct.
In the Berg. Yes.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
So,
Okay, perfect.
If you guys
I was
remember
confused.
Berg
I
Lanes
was
Row,
confused.
that's from outer to inner. So
I was
Berg Lanes Row.
confused.
No worries,
I
man.
assumed that the advertisement meant the telex station was right there. That's completely my fault.
No worries at all. So you're okay. So I am understanding that right. You're going to go ahead and head
Yes.
through to that district,
Yes.
and then you guys are Ymir and Ren heading to the Berg now, or are you guys following Akama to the lanes?
I am following Akama to the lanes
Okay.
because Ymir is worried about Wotek and not just updating Harmony, but he wants to know if Blitz may have a solution for
remedy.
Wotek's ailment. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, I want to also explain this. I had meant to when you first mentioned it. So you guys know that Blitz is here in the Aristocrat. Your communication services will link with the facility itself. You're able to call anybody that's in the Aristocrat in any of the layers. That's not a problem.
It's just Harmony. Okay.
It's just
Got it.
just anybody outside the Aristocrat.
Got
There's no way. So other than that,
But if we were in the row, we still wouldn't be able to.
wouldn't be able to.
Since the row, the inner court, is a different dimension. If
No,
Blitz
that's
was not in there.
yeah. No, it doesn't matter because
Okay.
it's basically like you guys are on Wi-Fi. With facilities like this in this kind of setting, they're able to network like that. It's just networking long distances is like one of the top tier services offered because it's the most difficult. So I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of layers to this, and I'll try and make sure to kind of cover that stuff a little more succinctly. All right, so if you'd like to, you can contact Blitz at any time is the only point I was making there. But I'm hearing that you guys are going to go ahead and head all through to the lanes right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna go that way anyway to go to the outer court, no?
No, you can leapfrog. You can
Gotcha.
go all over
Okay.
the place. So
So
Um,
basically, we're doing a pit stop in the lanes to go to the telecommunication spot before we go to the burn. That's
okay.
yeah.
And Akama actually understands a lot of the metaphysical kind of mechanics and engineering going on with a lot of this, because as we talked about in the beginning, this place seems to be using almost like a knockoff of some of the dimensional tech that Atlanteans have pioneered. It's not the same, but it's like using a different kind of company's electronic products. It's the same general principles, but you know,
iPhone to
a
Android
different
type.
delivery. Yeah. So it's you know, for you, Akama, you're realizing, oh, they must be using this kind of spell grid and this kind of infrastructure for the PPE energy distribution and this, that, and the other. You're making all these little notes of similarities, especially being a Voyager. This is like your bread and butter. You know how all of this stuff works on a very, very deep level, because just through will, you're able to channel kind of this kind of metaphysics, you know, just on your own. Okay, so as you guys approach the portal after selecting your destination, everything goes smoothly. The large gate-style doors, the almost vault-style doors, swing in and upwards slightly, revealing an interior smooth and supple portal that's seamless as you pass through. A real testament to the sophistication of the enchantments, to be sure. As you step through, you guys see just a cacophony of fantastic sights that dazzle and entice the eyes. All kinds of strange and foreign materials, odors, and varieties of commerce bombard your senses, giving you a pleasant, almost alien sensation to this place that even Ymir, in your more physically and natural grounded sensibility, is enticed by. You feel a little bit of a pull because everything seems to just glitter and dazzle and be exciting and interesting. It's like walking into, you know, like a Japanese arcade for the first time and just going, holy fuck.
Right.
So
The energy, the electricity.
yeah,
in the air.
and everything's positive. That's another thing, is you're really picking up on this. You see that there's poverty as well in these areas as there is everywhere. But for the most part, the poverty is not as extreme, at least where you can see now. And it could be a situation like Vegas where the further from the strip you get, holy fuck, you know what I mean? But this is a place where it looks like the tourism and the inherent commerce is lifting the population, where even poverty isn't what it could be. So in that sense, you definitely get, you know, the people working the kiosks and the assorted vendors and food shop owners, everybody from servers to what would be small business owners. Everybody has a smile on their face. Everybody seems like they're doing exactly what they want to be doing right now, because not only can they look outside and see what the rest of the world is like for everybody, they also know that just in the time they've had here, you can tell things have gotten better for them themselves. So definitely a place of opportunity, and that's a rare commodity on Rift's Earth.
Yep.
As you guys look around, you notice that there are lots of different places of interest that could kind of catch your attention. You see that there are literally dozens and dozens of vendors that are selling everything from weapon systems to clothing to toiletries to souvenirs. And a few of the souvenir shops actually look like some of the most interesting fare, as they seem to sell genuine pre-riffs trinkets and artifacts that are extremely difficult to come by. Usually it's a very rare thing to see like a mint condition authentic pre-riff Scooby-Doo lunchbox, and yet there's like 2 on display and 1 from Full House. So I mean, just killing it. A lot of these places are obviously in connection with salvage operations that are pretty sophisticated. As you guys can
take my camera out and take pictures of the area.
Okay. Nice. Go ahead and make a note of that. Very nice. You get some really good shots, and you notice that by adjusting the settings of your camera instrumentation, you're able to even capture some really cool kind of lens flare effects and some things from, all of the game machines and the different neon lights and strobes that are going on. So you get to kind of, you get to actually practice your aesthetic photography in this environment as well. Okay, we want to do, give me just 1 second here. Okay, here we go. So as you guys are beginning to move through this section, you right away see roughly where your destination is going to be. It looks like you've got maybe about a 10-minute walk from a small map kiosk that you see off on your right as you pass by it. Looks like about a 10-minute walk through some different shop districts and food districts until you would reach the Telex hub. And you can tell that this is marketing, right? Because they're making you walk through crazy good smelling exotic food, look at all of the wonderful candy and shit you could waste money on before you get to the one thing most people are probably going to want to actually get, right? Milk's in the back of the store, candy's in the front. So as you start proceeding through, you guys do, like I said, you notice it's going to be about a 10-minute walk to get there. And this makes you kind of wonder about time frame. So what are we doing? I want to kind of leave it up to you and just see. You guys want to head straight there, or does anybody want to do anything else in the meantime? Just want to check.
Ymir's just gonna take in the sights, but he's staying on mission. He's got a job to do, and he knows that Lars is, even with the time frame, the extra minutes that he's giving Lars to get his shit together after the rompus night before, he's staying on mission and is focused on getting to the communications as soon as possible.
He got very, very drunk. He got very fucking
He got
drunk.
obliterated.
-3 drunk.
That's drunk.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna kind of keep on keeping on, is what you're saying. It's straight to the Telex. Okay.
Concerned about Wotek. He's just kind of patting him, keeping an eye on him, kind of not in an overbearing way, but showing concern and genuine, the love and bond that they have as brothers. He's, patting his shoulders and keeping him going along with the rest of the group.
Give me. By the way, Ren, you were commenting on how you didn't get to roll the dice manually anymore. All you have to do is go into my settings, and it's, I want to say,
Fix that? Not sure.
Yeah.
it's under
I
dice
thought I had it
options.
fixed last time.
Okay,
Yeah, I had it
okay.
fixed
Just
last
wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no.
All right, so As you
I turn
guys,
to Ymir. I turn to Ymir, and I say, so it seems like we're gonna be a little bit before we get there. Maybe as we are walking, perhaps you can maybe give a call to Blitz and ask him by the time we get there, we should have an answer for both.
okay, as you're saying this, you guys hear this low, deep.
Oh.
And as you turn around to look at the source, you see your dear companion, Wotek, hunched down with his ass up kind of in the air, but his front shoulders kind of real low, almost looking guilty of something. He has his head kind of down and his brow is up, and he just looks he looks like a kid that stole a cookie. And as you're watching, you continue hearing that, and it gets worse and worse and worse and louder and louder and louder. And so finally, Ymir, as you look down, you go to almost just instinctually kind of reach a hand towards him, and you guys hear a disgusting, explosive bathtub full of liquid bear shit erupt from Wotek's sphincter under pressure that would rival like a half turned on fire hydrant. Now this liquid sprays out with enough force that luckily he was still facing away from the portal. And so you realize that most of this liquid, it actually slaps against the surface of the portal, kind of shimmers in a strange kind of pausing gesture for just a moment, and then disappears. I mean, it's just a half-second delay. But as this is happening, you're noticing that in a split second, what happens is there's so much volume that delay and how fast it can go out, it causes it to cascade outward laterally in just like a tidal wave across the front of this surface of the rift. And when you're looking at the surface of that portal, the doors are probably 40 foot across from door frame to frame. So what starts out as like a 5 foot, maybe 4 foot radius, or I'm sorry, a 4 foot diameter kind of circular shape of this shit going against the portal, it quickly spreads out to the sides and covers almost the entire fucking portal. And then you see it all kind of glow, and it just seems to disappear into the portal. Now, the rest...
Cone of caca.
The rest... And as it disappears, you see that now you're looking on the other side of the portal, and you don't see the shit. You don't see... It doesn't look like it went into the portal and then just shot through to the other side. So that's a little optical illusion that you guys are just kind of like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, we're looking at the other... We can see the kiosk where we just talked to the lady, and it's weird.
This
You
is like
do
the deleted
notice...
scenes of Stargate.
You do notice, however, that there's a little chiming going off in the background now. And it seems that there's a little voice going off in several languages in rapid succession. And when it rotates around to English, to American, you guys are able to discern that it's saying biological contaminated material negated at portal entry. Warning, warning. And then it cycles on to another language. Now, as you look down on the floor, you notice that the feces that just dropped and fell short of the portal, something very strange is happening. As you guys are looking at it, it's a thick, gooey, kind of blackish substance, not a healthy stool in any stretch of the imagination, kind of tarry and oily. But the thing that really catches your eye is it has a slight greenish tinge to it. And as you're looking down, it almost looks like they're what looks to be little tiny, maybe bubbles inside the liquid itself. You're not sure. Some kind of little, maybe just really small spheres, but it's hard to see. You also smell that this is a very sick and infected smelling substance. It smells like when something is injured and really, really like a wound turns bad, only not quite gangrene, more like just straight infection, without that kind of almondy, gangrenous odor. So just a heavy kind of pus and rot kind of smell. All right. At this, you see literally Wotek slumps down and just collapses to the fucking ground. And you see his belly heaving up and down several times, literally just so goddamn relieved that it's like when you're sick and you finally make it to the toilet and you're just like sitting there leaned over going,
Oh, that feels great.
That's all he's doing right now. His eyes are rolled back and he's just like, he's not embarrassed. He's just, yeah. Okay, what are we doing? Anything at all?
Ymir, obviously concerned, leans down to his brother, kind of looks at his two compatriots and goes, "You go on ahead. I will call Blitz. Now, this must stop." And he says that with kind of force in his voice. "I will be